Hi, today we are going to discuss about browser isolation. Browser isolation is a cybersecurity approach of separating internet browser activities from the process of loading and displaying the web page locally. Typically, a website visitor load the web page, content and code directly on the browser running on the local devices. From a security perspective, that makes internet browsing fairly risky. So if there is any content, those are malicious and the users are accessing it through the local browsers, then there are chances of malicious content downloaded on your browser that will lead to data exfiltration or the uh, entire network is malicious and hacked by the intruders. In order to avoid such consequences under cybersecurity, uh, there is a concept called browser isolation, which will protect the users' browsers from such malicious destinations. Instead of locally running those websites, the pages will be executed on the cloud platform, a isolated cloud platform, which is managed by the providers, and only the rendered destination traffic will be reached on your machines so that you can protect your users and your user browsers that also help you to protect the corporate machines. Let's jump in quickly and see how we can configure the browser isolation in Zscaler Internet Access. When you go to administration and browser isolation, you could see two tabs over the top, isolation profiles and isolation banners. Isolation banner is nothing but when you access browser isolated destination, what would be the message that you can see? So you can create a banner with your company logo or with your customized images and customized wordings based on your corporate names. Okay, those are customizable. And once you configure this banner, you can go to isolation profile, create a one. Maybe I can showcase you the existing configuration by edit this on isolation platform name and click next. When you click next, you could see a few company specific configuration like pack file. Either you can choose the pack file which is predefined, or you can override the pack file and use your own custom pack file configuration as well. You can enable debugging for data, log data, which will help you to do troubleshooting in future. And also root certificate, since when you are using browser isolation, you can option to do SSL interceptions and root certificates needs to be uploaded. You can either use predefined root certificate or you can use custom bring your own certificates as well. When you click next, you could see the configuration which predominantly related to copy and paste from your local machine to remote machine. You can either allow or block it. In the same way, you have allow the file transfer from the local machine to isolated platform. You can configure it and also allow printing. Whether you need to print or you need to write, not print, or you need to see contents only read out memory, or you can enter the text on the web page will be decided by using these configurations. And leave the office files in isolation and local browser rendering, application deep linking, and Verito CRD integration. These configurations you can see here. Once you click next, you can have the regions, list of regions where you can enable browser isolation. Either you can leave it as is, then that will be any. Otherwise, you can select the specific regions wherever you wanted to do browser isolation and click next. Attach the banner which we already created and decide isolation experience, whether it is a native browser experience or you need to have browser in browser experience. Within the browser, you can see the isolated browser and you can enable watermarking. When you enable watermarking, it will ask you to provide how the watermarking should be. You can mention like user ID, you can mention like date and timestamp, so that these contents will be used in the web pages to watermark it, and you can save the configuration. Once you save these configurations, you can go to policy, URL, and cloud app control. You have an option to create a new URL category or edit the existing one. Since I already configured, I'm just going to edit the existing one. I have added the list of categories which records to be browser isolated and chosen the users. If it is all users, you can leave that like that. You can keep it any, otherwise you can simply configure the respective user details. When you come down, you have an option along with allow, caution, and block, isolate. You can select the isolation profile. That's it. So typically, when a website is known and your corporate records those websites, you can add under allow. And if the destination are not recorded to be accessible by your corporate, then you can block them. In certain cases, you have caution that says that if the user wants to access that application, very well, they can go ahead and access it. But this is not a business intended destination. Okay, that is something caution. The isolate is you have some web pages, but you are not sure how much that websites are malicious. You are trying to protect them from the cyber attacks. Then that case you will use isolate. Typical example is newly registered domains or miscellaneous classes, which you may not be know what is the potential impact behind those websites, right? You can isolate them using browser isolation. You can do this configuration both on URL filtering or on the cloud app control. When you go to cloud app control, I have already configured it for LinkedIn. So let's search LinkedIn. You could see there is a configuration. All configuration is same as the existing one, but only thing is you need to choose isolate and choose the isolation platform, right? Once you do this configuration, you can go ahead and save this uh, configuration. And let me open my Zscaler client connector. Let me turn on. When I turn it on and try to access uh, Facebook, for an example, the page is loaded with browser registration location, and you could see my web page backgrounds are isolated or watermarked with my username and my timestamp where I'm accessing it. Okay, and you could see, for example, let me go to linkedin.com. Yeah, when I access it LinkedIn, you could see certain options like saved files. If you are downloading any files, or you can have option to leave the section, or you can have controls, find options, and network latency, go to ip.zscaler.com. So those controls are there as well. So when you configure copy and paste and other print options, you will have more controls over here. That will help you to navigate based on your corporate needs. Yeah. Most importantly, when you do browser isolation, you have to do SSL interception on those categories or on those URLs to securely intercept your traffic and secure your browsers or your PCs remote from the remote malicious contents from those remote destinations. I hope this is useful for you. Please do let me know if you have any further questions. Our Our expert will be available on below email info.itsecurity@gmail.com for any technical queries or any troubleshootings. If you want to deploy a new infrastructure on your corporate, do let us know. Our experts will connect back to you. We also do uh, architecture, planning, and designing as well. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.